already been going down for Jazz game. They have about a minute left of this one, but I'm wondering now if we're going to see the point guard trend continue. I think that's one of the things. And for you as a player, what do you feel like was the most valuable position in the entire team, if there's one position?
Well, if you're talking about a draft right now, you're going for best available player, to be honest with you, especially in these early rounds. But when you see the two teams before you taking a point guard, that makes you start thinking, will this be a trend? But for me, when I'm building out a team, it's best available player. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people there might be looking at this one compete going number 3. That's who I had in my mock draft. And I think a lot of the times when people are looking at maybe like these power forwards or centers to go here early, it's going to be once these point guards start to dwindle away. Once you take away this top set list of point guards, that's when you start to see people venture into small forwards, power forwards, as well as the centers there as well. For shooting guards as a whole, I don't see them going too early, but the pick is now going to be in for Jazz game. Let's go ahead and throw it down to Brendan Donahue to announce the pick for the Jazz.
With the 3rd overall pick in the NBA 2K League draft, Jazz Gaming selects Yeah, I Compete, point guard from New York.
Back over to you, Dirk.
There, and like we said, the emotions are going to be running high. These guys have been playing since, some of these players dating back to like NBA 2K10, playing the new Pro-Am mode, playing online tournaments and everything as well. So you're able to make this dream a reality to become a gamer. It's huge. And like we said, this is how we got to the point. So you see the first 3 picks, Dimes, Fab, as well as Compete. And with Kings are on the clock, like we said, honestly, I picked a center for this one, and the center I picked was One Wild Walnut. And the reason that I did select him to go to Kingsguard right here was just because of how dominant of a draft combine that he had. It really stuck out between a majority of the centers in the game as well. And if he is picked, we'll go ahead and get the stat line for it. But I think he was averaging close to over 30 points, almost 18 rebounds as well in the game. So when you're able to do that, and we'll look at the breakdown for the offensive boards that come with it, it helps so much.
Yeah, I mean, you know those combinations within the gaming system, but I think having the dominance inside, you got to look at sometimes you want to score, but you also want somebody that can rebound, get you those second chance opportunities. And so that's why we look at a big. But also keep in mind, I'm excited to see all these guys go up here. They're very humble, but let loose a little bit. Go ahead and enjoy. This is their moment. I want to see them just really just go all in because they've worked really hard to get here.
Yeah, I see. I know a lot of these guys need to step out of their shell a little bit. They're not fooling me. I know all of them. So anyway, we do have the pick locked in for Kingsguard game. Let's go ahead and toss it down to Brendan to announce the pick.
With the 4th overall pick in the NBA 2K League draft, Kingsguard Gaming selects Moody, power forward from Virginia.
That is Moody's cowbell. Moody, ladies and gentlemen, goes at number 4. You don't know, that's his trademark. It's the funniest thing is when I watch Moody play, he makes a 3. All of a sudden, mid-game, you can hear it through his microphone. This cowbell just start going off. It's like one of the goofiest things, but I love it as well. But Moody all around. He went into this as a rebounding athletic finisher, and that's something he typically doesn't do. He runs a lot of that stretch, but we are going to have Moody down on the floor with Scott for an interview.
That's right, hanging out with Moody, who's heading to Sacramento. How cool is it, A, to be drafted, but B, by Shaquille O'Neal?
Hey, man, first and foremost, look, mama, we made it. Yeah. It's surreal, man. I didn't think it was going to feel like this. I'm like, the emotions going through, I don't really have words. Like, finally turning your dreams into a reality is just so surreal. And then being, like, the luxury of having someone like Shaq. Yeah. Hey, man, summer in Cali sounds good to me.
You're going to have a good time out there. What can the fans in Sacramento expect from you?
Oh, man, the most committed, hardworking player out there, man. Awesome. Gonna bring us a chip.
Awesome, man. Back over to you guys.
He's got to be like one of my favorite personalities that we have in NBA 2K. Just overall, I mean, I know how worried he was when the combine even got announced. I'm like, dude, like, you're one of the top players. Just relax. Like, you're gonna get there. But there was just that emotion, which I mean, anybody on draft night or just anybody trying to push towards that combine is gonna have that same feeling too. But just with Moody, he said that you get a hardworking guy, and I think he's one of the guys who watches more videos than I've ever seen to try to perfect their mistakes. When he loses, he's an angry person, which is what you really do expect there as well. But Moody's stat line is very, very impressive going on forward.
I mean, look at it. You talk about winning percentage 77. I mean, 28 points, 4.8 assists. I mean, his field goal percentage at 69. I mean, these are the things, but his big thing is the three, shooting 44% from the three-point line. At the end of the day, you want to have all the stats, but you want to have a hard worker. And he just seems like a guy that's going to work extremely hard to get to where he needs to be.
It most definitely is, too. And the Pistons GT is now going to be on the clock here for this one. It's going to be Ramo. That's what I'm 100%. I'm going to call it now. This is what I feel like it's going to be the pick. I know that the draft strategy coming in from the Pistons was if any of these elite point guards are available, they're going to take them. But I mean, as we expect in those first 3 rounds, they're going to be taken as well. So I do expect Ramo to probably be taken here. And you said best all-around player. Ramo is that guy. He's one who can do everything on both sides of the floor. He's very versatile when it comes down to his positioning as well.
Yeah, best available player, and Ramo's that guy. That's who I think the Pistons are going to take as well with you. I also think that if you're looking for Detroit, they're also probably going to look for personalities as well. You want to have that personality that comes along with your game, and let's see if he has that total package for him.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things. So Pistons GT, the time is up. They're ready to go. Let's toss it down to the floor for the announcement of Pistons GT's pick.
With the 5th overall pick in the NBA 2K League draft, Pistons GT selects Let's Get It Ramo, power forward from New York.
That number 5 pick from Pistons GT. And as just from talking to Adam, just kind of what his strategy was just going to be, that was definitely the pick that he wants to go around, get the best overall player there as well. But we will have Ramo down on the floor with Scott for an interview.
All right, let's get it. Just got it. He's heading to Detroit. How you feeling, man?
I'm excited, man. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the day. I spent so much time competing and hours, and it's just honestly it's a real feeling because all the hours we put in it finally paid off. I can't wait to compete. Championship.
That's right. It's a culmination of a lot of hard work for you and a lot of different guys. What does this mean for you and all these gentlemen out here working so hard? What does it mean to be able to be drafted at this platform?
I know all of us put the time in. We all made it here for a reason, and I can speak for everyone here. And I know that we all spent the time in, and we made it.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you. Back over to you, Dirk.
Yeah, as you heard from Ramo there, immediately when I started watching this guy, the first thing that just kind of blew me away was how he can pick and choose the right times when he needs to make those cuts or when he has the ball, his dribble drive action, when he can finish down low. Easily one of the top slashers I think that we have in NBA 2K as a whole as well. So see the top 5 picks there already on your screen. All those guys too, well deserving. But now we're going to be moving to Blazers Gaming. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Don't really know who they're going to be able to select. This is like one of those things where a lot of teams have brought in these analysts. I mean, the guys who have that NBA 2K knowledge, ones who have competed, maybe didn't make the cut in the combine and said, you know what? Nobody's going to know these guys better than these, so let's pull them on. Let's bring them on for this. Blazers Gaming kind of kept under the radar a little bit there, but it's going to be interesting to see what they pick. But just going and touching on Ramo, his stat line that he puts up, he put himself down. He's a playmaker who loves everything better, and that's one of the things too. He's a great when it comes down to making that decision. I'm going to drive. I don't have a shot. Let me pass it out. But he picks and chooses when the right time to do it so he doesn't lose the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you look at Ramo, one of the things with him is that he's a team player. And I think going to Detroit, he said it. Like, he's trying to go there. He wants to win a championship. But I just was texting with somebody from Detroit, and the thing I need to ask him is, you're going to Detroit. What up, though? That's what they say in Detroit. I spent 6 years there, obviously playing my career there with the Shock. And it's a wonderful city. He's going there to embrace. The Pistons are now downtown. So that whole city embracing kind of this league, I'm happy to see the direction they're going in. And great pick for them with Ramo at number 5.
What do you think? Just from advice for Ramo, you've been to Detroit, you live there. What's some advice for him moving to a city like Detroit?
Some advice for him is just, obviously the Pistons being downtown, it's a wonderful city. Embrace it culturally. So many different things to do, museums. I know he'll probably be working hard and playing with his team, getting ready, but make sure you enjoy the beautiful things that Detroit has to offer.
Yeah, most definitely. Pick is going to be locked in for Blazers Gaming as well. Let's toss it down to the podium to hear the pick.
With the 6th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Blazer 5 Gaming selects One Wild Walnut, center from California.
So Walnut didn't go to the Kingsguard Gaming, but he did end up going to that Blazers Gaming side there as well. So, as we said, the best center in the combine completely. So we're gonna hear from One Wild Walnut. A lot of people might not know him, so it's time to let him out of his show a little bit, get us to know him. We have Scott down there on the floor with the One Wild Walnut.
Blessed more than anything. I mean, just surreal to be in the top 10 and be able to say that, for the rest of my life and hopefully build a winning culture and be a part of something great.
Yeah, and you're a part of history here tonight. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's not something a lot of people get to say. The first inaugural year, and I think it'll be even growing, and I get to be a part of that for sure. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Heading to Portland. Now we're going to head back to the table.
It's a round of applause for that guy. Like we said, he's one of the guys who might not be as known as a majority of the people in this draft, but the fact that he was able to come through in the combine, and that was the main goal, was to get these unknown talents that maybe aren't able to compete at that high level, put them in the combine, see what they can do. Impressive stat line, 82% win percentage after playing 62 games. All he had to do was play 40, but he went above and beyond. But his stat line, again, like we said, for the centers completely took over.
I mean, I think his story kind of parallels to players that have been, whether it's in the G League or, WNBA, that have come up, NBA, and you just need your opportunity. He took his opportunity in that combine to really show what he can do, and that's all you really need is once you get that door cracked a little bit, you run right through it, and he's positioned himself, like he said, you're a top 10 pick right now. Now you're going out to Portland. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, he had heavy draft stock, too. I mean, just from that interview, you could tell the guy's humble. He just seems like an all-around great guy as well, but everything across his stats were good. He's scoring 34 points per game. He's getting 6 assists a game, 18 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 3 steals. Like, that is the man that you want, like, commanding your paint down low. So definitely a great pick coming in there from Blazers Gaming as well. Next is going to be Heat Check Gaming. Famous enough. What are you going to bring to the table for us? That's going to be one of the biggest things, probably one of the most knowledgeable guys when it comes down to NBA 2K Pro. And the pick by Heat Check Gaming, getting him is something that's huge. I think automatically, as soon as they made that announcement, I was like, okay, well, when it comes down to draft strategy and player knowledge, it's like they're up here. The teams are going to be right there as well. But he's just a guy who, again, worked very hard to get where he was. And the pick is going to be in for Heat Check Game. Let's go ahead and toss it down to the podium to find out who is pick number 7.
With the 7th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Heat Check Gaming selects Hotshot, center from Florida.
And that's a great pickup. We just kind of talking to you about it. Just Hotshot was that guy, probably the best center in the game who was competing at that level. And like we said, Walnut had a hell of a combine, but just overall, for looking back to how this year's progressed before the combine, Hotshot definitely in that conversation for the best center in the game. His stat line, almost the exact same. 75 games played by him, 30 points, and then his rebound numbers and everything else on the defensive end was great.
Numbers speak for himself. Obviously, he's a playmaker, and like you said, already had established himself beforehand. But now you look at Heat Check Gaming, and what they're getting in him is a player that you said is efficient, 76% winning percentage, but also you get a guy that at the same time is from the 305. So staying a little bit close to home, won't have to move too far.
Yeah, most definitely. But we do have the former Space Jam man, Hotshot, down with an interview with Fresh.
That's right, Hotshot going to the Heat, man. It's cool to be staying in Florida. How do you feel?
I don't have any words right now. Like, I'm shocked. I got to stay at home, represent my hometown team. It's an honor.
Yeah, man, you're emotional right now. What's going through your mind?
I don't have any words for it. I'm so excited. I get to stay home.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
That's awesome. He's excited to be staying home. We're so excited, and congratulations. You're staying in Florida. Back over to you guys.
I think that's big too. I mean, if you're able to, you don't have to worry about that player really adjusting to a new lifestyle now. The only thing that you maybe have to adjust to is just you're going to be inside of a team house now. You're going to have the rest of your teammates, all five. But that's one of the things. You get to stay home. You're going to be close to your family, so you don't really have to worry about that transition. And for you, how hard was that transition when you had to move?
It was difficult, but at the same time, immediately once I got drafted, I was thinking about how long of a drive, how long of a flight is it for my family to get there, or for me to call my mom really quick. And at that time, I'm still young. I was 21. But I think you have to think about, for Hot Shot, one of the biggest things is you're not only staying home, but you've grown up watching your team, like he said. Like, that's his team. And now you have an opportunity to play for your team. That's major. I mean, what a dream come true for him.
Like you said, it's hometown. I feel like that's anybody's dream, whether you're playing in the NBA or anything that has to do with franchising. If you're from that city, you're like, I want to stay in that city, and that's where I want to play. And that's what it gets to do with Heat Check Gaming there as well. But now they're rivals, going across a little bit away. It's going to be Magic Gaming. The clock has already been going down for them, and it's going to be another thing. So far we've seen 3 point guards, 2 power forwards, and 2 centers go. Complete little bit of a mix-up. I mean, I thought it might just be a little more point guard heavy going on forward, but hey, we like when there's a curveball in the action here as well, too. So just those 2 power forwards being taken, though, they're pretty good. But the pick is now going to be in for Magic Gaming. We'll throw it down to the podium for Brendan to announce the pick.
With the 8th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Magic Gaming selects Control, point guard from Florida.
Control taken by Magic Gaming there as my mock draft continues to look somewhat decent. Somewhat. A lot of people kind of question that pick that I had for that one. So I'm clapping for myself there in that one as well. But Control, he's going to be going to Magic Game. We're going to have an interview down on the floor there with Scott.
That's right. Another Florida boy staying in the Sunshine State. Congratulations, man. How do you feel?
Man, I'm juiced right now, honestly, man. I'm excited, you know. I appreciate like all the support from friends, family back at home, and you know, I'm excited to go to Orlando. I'm close to Jacksonville. That's where I'm from.
That's awesome. Man, he's an excited guy. How does it feel to be a part of history here today?
Man, all of us worked so hard to put this together, and I'm just honored, honestly.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you. Over to you guys.
And that's the thing too, like with smaller communities, especially in esports, like these guys all stick together. Like how many, you've heard 2 players now go up there and just say, we've all worked so hard for this. We all deserve to be here too. And that's sort of that family mentality. So Control does go to Magic Gaming. Next up is going to be Knicks Gaming. You said you know the GM a little bit there.
Yeah, I know the GM a little bit. Kristen Berner is the GM, female GM for the Knicks. And the thing that I like about it is for Knicks Gaming is that she was my GM in Detroit, was the GM here with the Liberty. So I'm interested to see what pick she's going to pick here with Knicks Gaming.
It's going to be tough for me. I
can't
remember in my mock draft what I can't remember what I honestly put. Soon I'll have it right here by my side, and I'll be able to.
But you know, we've seen it's been interesting because we saw the point guards going, and then all of a sudden we started getting some of the centers, and I'm wondering if the strategy now is changing in some of these war rooms about, all right, who's taking what player? Is it best available, or for how we're trying to build out our team?
That's like one of the things too is that we saw a lot of centers go early, which I think a lot of people were kind of like, oh, you know what, we're going to go for these power forwards, we're going to go for these centers a little bit later as well. So now they do have to rework their later rounds in the draft. We're like, okay, we can't get this guy. This all of a sudden just creates this big stir. We got to move this over here. We got to put this player over here. This is our main guy to go for as well. But that's what makes it so exciting when it does come down to the live rooms as well. But I believe the player I did have at 9 was Kuda at the time for the Knicks as well. But we'll see how that one does progress out. It's going to be the 9th pick here in the first round as well. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, hasn't been too many shockers. I think like a lot of these people that I do have in the first round, I think were all that I might have had in my mock draft. I can't remember off the top of my head, but just overall, I think everything is kind of going to standard. Maybe a little bit, a few mix-ups here and there as well, but it's just like the centers going where they need to. I do like the pick from Heat Check Gaming with getting Hot Shot. I know that Famous has always been that guy who's very talked highly of him as well, but Control, he's got that sleeper point guard for me. 23 points a game, 13 assists as well. Can hit from behind the arc, finish in towards the arc as well, but we are going to have the pick locked in for Knicks Gaming. Send it down to the podium.
With With the 9th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Knicks Gaming selects Goofy757 from Texas.
Knowing for him as well, just overall, Goofy, just a great personality. He's probably one of my favorite people, and he's one of those guys who made that run in NBA 2K17, made it to the PS4 Championship, where he ended up actually losing that one. So that's the thing that you can honestly take away from that. He knows defeat when you go to make it towards that final stage, too, which I think is going to be one of the big things there. Goofy is going to be down on the floor there with Scotty Fresh. Take it away, Scott.
That's right. I'm with Goofy757. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling shocked. Yeah, amazing. That's all I got to say.
He's excited. He's a little bit shocked. Now, you're from Texas. You've been out here in New York for the last few days. Now you're going to be living here. How cool is that?
Good. This is actually my dream city, so I was shocked when they picked me.
That's awesome. Well, dreams coming true here today in New York City. Back over to you, Dirk.
Oh, I love the guy. What can't you love about the guy? We're getting the same reaction from everybody, too, which is great. They're all just like kind of sit there and pause like, wow, like we are actually in shock. Like it's all coming true now. But Goofy, he's a great guy. Just overall, like we could just keep bringing up. But he's usually that guy, again, like a Moody. He's playing sort of stretch position. He can hit from behind the arc, but he went into the combine. His rebounding athletic and his stats show.
Yeah, I mean, when you go into the combine and you can show that you can take it to that next level, that's when you start getting the eyes of these teams that are going, in the top 10. And he's right there. And I give it up to Kristen Berner for understanding that not only are you getting a player, you're getting also a leader. And that smile right there, he's going to fit right in here in New York, that's for sure.
And that's the thing, too. It's just like they went through all their interview processes with each individual team and just how their teamwork and their charisma were as well. And that's just something that Goofy brings to the table. He's always going to be a team player. He's one of those guys who's looking to get everybody involved. He averaged 4 assists. He's averaging close to 32 passes a game going into that one as well, too. So he's always a person looking to get everybody involved. But that's going to be Goofy. He goes over there towards the Knicks Gaming, and now it's going to be Bucks Gaming, my man Andrew. He brought in the MPBA guys to try to get that one, and I would honestly put them on the same level as Famous Enough, the operations coordinator for Heat Check Gaming, and when it comes down to picking their draft and how they're going to do this one, then for me, I think for Bucks Gaming, I had JT, Fresh Prince JT, going over here towards this side. I think he's definitely one of those guys who can be inconsistent at times when he does play, but if you do get a good game out of JT, you get him shooting right, that's where he can really start to take over. So I have nothing but utmost respect for JT. He's always been a leader of that Space Jam team, and we've seen already 2 former Space Jam players already go in this one. So they're the guys who build those sort of powerhouse rosters as well. Bucks Gaming, the pick is in for them. We'll toss it back down to the floor to find out who they select.
With the 10th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Bucks Gaming selects Drake Griffin, point guard from New York.
You guys might not be able to hear it, but the people right next to me, another GFG, baby, goes through.
In the building.
So it's going to be Compete and Drake from GFG. They have found their way here into this one, and that's going to make it our top 10 pick right there as well. But we are going to have an interview down on the floor there with Drake Griffin with Scott.
That's right, hanging out with Drake. What's going on through your mind right now? You just got drafted.
It's crazy. It's still unreal.
Yeah? You excited to be moving to Milwaukee?
Yeah, definitely excited to see something new. So I've been here in New York my whole life, so definitely looking forward to a new experience.
Nice. Well, congratulations to you, Drake. Heading to Milwaukee. Congrats. Over to you guys.
Yeah, great pick coming in there from Bucks Gaming as well. So that's going to put us into Raptors Uprising GC. And from what I've heard, there could be a potential they might just go straight for a big man here, and especially just trying to keep the Canadian roots in with the team, so to say. So honestly, with this one, I could see either Kobe Yusuf or I could see authentic African, 2 dominant centers who, again, had a great combine going. So it wouldn't shock me if they go for that one, but I do feel like there's a potential where they might just make a clean sweep and just go straight for that point guard. But I actually love the variety that we're seeing with the big men and as well as the point guards going on forward here. So it's definitely one that I can't call. But just looking back on Drake, what he's going to bring to the team, we're not getting too much from these players in the interviews, but it's understandable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take part in this draft and go through everything. So I'm not expecting them to come out with this complete fire and all this confidence and stuff. So it's just great to see it. But Drake, you get an all-around package when it does come down to it as well for this side. And just going on forward, I'm not going to put you on the spot. If you were Raptors right now, the Uprising team, in your opinion, are you trying to go down that same route? Are you maybe trying to grab a point guard, or are you going to try to venture out a little bit?
You know, one of the things that the trends that I'm seeing is if there's best available point guard, and then also if you get somebody that's really good that's close to home. And having somebody right in your backyard that you feel that you can kind of build your team around may be the direction I think that they're going to go in Toronto.
Yeah, most definitely. So only 10 seconds left until we probably do get the pick in here in this one as well. But yeah, like you talked about, just keeping everybody on towards that home soil was just going to be one of the
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Uprising GC, and so completely going against what I said, trying to get the people on the home soil. They go in there for Kenny too, and this is going to be another one of those guys. He put up good scoring numbers, he put up great assist totals, and as defense too is something that's a highlight, almost averaging 4 a game.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things for me too is the fact that they went outside of the box. We thought they would take someone that was a Canadian, and they're just like, no, we're going to go for best available for how they're trying to build out their team. We talked about the point guards. They have Kenny. They have him now. But, you know, he has a strong personality, and sometimes with these players talking to some of these teams, you can sway a team one way or another just by the interview that you may have.
Yeah, you most definitely can, Kenny. We the North. Say what's up to Drake Farmer. He's down on the floor with Scott for an interview right now.
That's right, hanging out with Kenny. Kenny's probably been a wild few days. It's official. You've been drafted. You're heading to Canada. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I'm blessed, you know, to have this opportunity. And shout out to Toronto for believing in me.
That's right. You got a big smile right now. How excited are you right now to be part of history?
It feels great, man. The feeling is unreal. Shout out to my mama. Mama, we made it, you know. My brother, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Well, congratulations once again. Kenny heading up to Toronto. Back over to you, Dirk.
You got to love the guy 100%. And as we just were talking about, we go over the stats. His efficiency sitting at 61% there as well. But I think one of the biggest things for me is just his points off of turnovers. He's currently sitting at 6-0, but that just means every time that he gets the ball, he's able to at least capitalize on something there as well. He's not going to be the most flashy point guard, but he's going to bring a lot to the team when it comes down to just facilitating overall. And his stat line, too, for just field goal percentage overall and 3 points, something impressive as well.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to be the flashiest point guard, but you have to be the most effective, and his numbers definitely shows that, and his ability to do other things, whether it's getting a steal, getting those extra points, those things matter when it comes down to a close game. And so also personality, I mean, you look at him and he takes pride in his perseverance. He said that, but I think fitting in with the team is also very important. You can have the 5 best players and not have a good team, but you need to build your team out that has great personalities and people that can get along and play together in this game.
I definitely feel like it's sort of like The Rock, that where you can start to build around him, and he's a very easygoing person. I think I met him for the first time. It's like I just have known him for years when it came down to talking to him as well. So just everything he's going to be able to bring to the table. I think the biggest key point is that he's played in that LAN environment where you have players right across from you. You're yelling back and forth. The trash talk starts to engage a little bit between the gamers. So he won that $250,000. He's in that same boat as Dimes, and they also have Timely who's going to be in here as well. I think almost the entire Stiltro lineup from that year is going to be in this one too. So it just shows that experience from them playing, they're able to carry that over into going into online. And I'm very happy for Kenny. I mean, just like, I think he was almost the first person we saw cry. And that's why I wanted to come through, but as we just sit here, get a little bit of a break. Just kidding. We're going to go toss it down. Wizards District Gaming, they are up. They are ready to go. We'll throw it down to the podium.
With the 12th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Wizards District Gaming selects Fresh Prince JT, point guard from Illinois.
JT picked there by Wizards District Gaming. Definitely a great all-around pick. And like we said, he's not necessarily a sleeper pick, but he's this guy. Demon JT is going to be here in the NBA 2K League. That's what I'm excited for. A lot of people won't get that reference, but let's go ahead and toss it through an interview with Fresh Prince JT himself alongside Scott.
That's right, hanging out with Fresh Prince. Wild day. You're heading out. You got drafted. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's just a lot of people thought I wouldn't make it here. Sometimes I did, but God got me, so I feel good.
That's amazing, and dreams are coming true. You're heading to Washington, D.C. You ever been there?
No, so I'm ecstatic. I'm ready. Like, it's time.
It's time. A brand new adventure for the Fresh Prince. Congratulations once again. Back over to you, Dirk.
Hey, JT is just one of those guys. Just from knowing him personally, to the criticism when it does come about or when they lose, he takes it hard on himself. It's one of those guys who really takes the blame for a lot of the performances that do happen as well. So he was right. I mean, I don't think there are very many people saying he's not going to make it. I think if people said that he wasn't going to make it into the 1 or 2, it might have been a little bit crazy. But just overall, you're getting great just games coming in there from JT in the combine.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his slashing playmaker ability, I think is going to be useful for this team. And then I also think that you have to take it on. He seems like he has a little chip on his shoulder, like, yeah, this is me. I'm here. I'm ready to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think as a player, whether it's in gaming, whether it's playing on the court, you have to have a little bit of confidence in yourself and that extra little oomph, I like to say, if you want to win. And I think a lot of the players we're seeing coming out, even though they're a little bit more reserved talking on the mic, they're definitely confident because they had to have that confidence to get here.
Yeah, they most definitely will. So Pacers Gaming, they're going to be up next with the 13th pick here in round number 1 of the NBA 2K League Draft. And it's flying through. Time flies when you're having fun. I mean, we're almost at the 13th pick here already. They only just have a minute left to try to decide on this one. And Cody Parent, a guy who's been working inside the NBA 2K scene for quite some time. NBA 2K Lab, the guys who really go in depth when it comes down to how quick is this jump shot? Like, what is the green release time? Like, there's so many in-depth analytics with it. It's very impressive. So he's been involved with that one previously, and he's brought them over to Pacers Gaming to try to get this. So he's been around. He knows these players very well. In terms of his draft strategy, that I have no complete idea. I mean, I tried to nudge all these managers, say, hey, like, what's your strategy? Like, what are you trying to go for here? Broadcast purposes only.
Tight to the vest, right? Everything's keeping it tight to the vest.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, I wouldn't want to tell anybody my super secret draft strategy anyway, too. But no, with Cody, definitely Pacers game, I think they're going to be a team to look out for, like any team who have picked these analysts going forward as well. But the pick is now going to be in Pacers Gaming with pick 13. Let's toss it down to the stage for the announcement.
With the 13th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Pacers Gaming selects Wolf, small forward from New York.
Wolf is going to be taken there by Pacers Gaming, a guy that I really did predict to go in towards that first round. Just a great all-around. I think I would consider him probably the best lockdown defender that we do have in the game, and he's one of the guys that is teaming with Dimes in breakout too, and was the guy who really led that entire defense. It's going to be the first small forward taken here as well, but we do have an interview with Wolf down on the floor with Scott.
That's right, hanging out with Wolf from Queens, New York. The draft here, of course, being here in New York City. Everybody else coming in from all around the world. You're staying in your backyard. Now you're finding out you're moving over to Indiana. How you feeling?
Amazing, man. I'm just ready to get to work and continue a winning culture in Indy. So I'm just excited. I'm real excited.
Anything you want to say to all the fans in Indiana?
Be ready. I'm ready. Bring a championship home. Shout out to the family, everybody watching. Appreciate the love and support. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to Wolf heading to Indianapolis. Congrats, dude. Back over to you, Dirk.
Like I said, that's just one of those great picks that are coming through. And honestly, I got so like tunnel vision focused on point guards and in the centers that I didn't even expect that. So that's the first small forward off the board, and in my opinion, probably the best small forward that's going to be off the board as well. But now, Pacers gaming going forward, I think if you do take Wolf at this position, now you need to go for a point guard the second round, 100%. And that's just because a lot of, obviously, the offense can be facilitated through the point guard as basketball 101. But also, a lot of the scoring typically does come from the point guards on NBA 2K as well. So you're going to need somebody who's going to be able to take over that offensive load. But a great pick overall. And his stats, too, maybe doesn't show the defensive side of him, but he really wasn't running that lockdown. He went with a little bit different with the shot creating slasher.
Yeah, and I think for him, he understands where his weaknesses, per se, are and how he's going to be able to fill in that gap. But I just love his swagger. I love his New York confidence. He's like, look, I'm coming. I'm ready. They're going to Indiana. And I think with Pacers gaming, the one thing they're getting in him is not only a confident player, but a player that understands championship. You know, it's okay to say that. You're all on the same playing field right now because that's what you're going to do. You're going there, build that camaraderie, build that teamwork. But the end goal was always a championship.
Yeah, multiple MPBA trophies coming in there from Wolf, too. So, like I said, it's something you don't really expect, but he's trading taxis out for cornfields. That's what you have to expect when you go to Indiana. Not too much that's going to be going there, but the next pick is going to be in where we'll see 76ers GC with the 14th pick. Let's toss it down to the stage.
With the 14th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, 76ers GC selects Radiant, point guard from Michigan.
Radiant's not actually going to be in attendance here as well, so we'll just bring it right back over here to try to get this one. But Radiant, one of those guys that I know that there were some teams looking at him, sort of not that sleeper point guard pick necessarily, but he's going to be a little bit probably going into that 7th, 10th mark as well. So I still think it's a good pickup coming in from the 76ers GC in that one as well. But yeah, overall, Radiant, great pick. And just his stat line, I'm assuming it's probably pretty good. I don't think we actually have it handy going on forward here as well. But we're Radiant going to the 76ers now, so that's another point guard that's going to be taken off the board. So we can get a quick recap going all the way forward. We're just 3 picks away from being done with round number 1 here as well. And it's great. Just like a gamer watching this all unfold, all these guys that you've seen really like blossom into these athletes, it's amazing.
This is history right now, and as we continue to get pick after pick after pick, all these guys have to realize they're going to be the first. And I love the fact that you see the smiles, but now it comes the next process of really fitting in and building that team and that camaraderie. And a lot of times you get comfortable as a player with the guys that you're used to, but now having whole new team, whole new city, all these other things that come into play. It's going to be interesting to see what team can bond and gel the fastest.
Yeah, so he's going from Detroit, and he's going all the way to Philadelphia there in that one. I know a lot of, just from the talks I have with managers, I know that Radiant was going to actually probably be more of like a second-round pick to them, and going on forward there as well. But, I mean, you have to think, too, it's like, it's one thing to be here for the actual draft and being in presence, going up there, shaking Brendan Donohue's hand, but imagine like you're watching from home. You're watching the stream and you're waiting for that phone call like, oh my goodness, like when is this one going to come for me? Like when am I going to finally be picked? And I can only imagine what's going through his head. I'm assuming you were probably in attendance at the draft that you went to. So
yeah, but there is that that tendency to just have nervousness, whether you're at the draft or whether you're at home, because usually when you're at home, you have family, you have your friends around you, and you're just waiting for that call. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, all these guys you're going to go somewhere. It's just about where you're going to end up, when your name's going to be called, and it is just high drama until your name's being called.
And that's one of the things, too, is like we broke it down to 102, so it's all guaranteed. I can only imagine if we came in here with 250 and everyone's just kind of sitting there just waiting like, what am I going to do at this point in time? It's going to be so hard to go through. But Radiant, you're getting just a guy who's great at working that pick and roll, just from experience as well. Has a great attitude when it comes down to about his game. He's just one of those guys. And everybody in here, they all have that same mindset. You don't really have a super selfish player who's sitting there, it's like, oh, like I just need this to be all about me, right? Everybody has that mentality. Teamwork first. Let's go get a championship.
Yeah, and keep this in mind. I mean, when I got drafted number 2 to Detroit, I was projected to be drafted number 3. But after kind of going through the season, they picked me number 2, and I went and I asked the question, well, why did I go number 2? And they said, because we liked the way that our conversations were with you, and also we felt you were the best player. So people's strategy changes. So a lot of times we may have a mock draft of what we think is going to happen, but teams see other teams doing things, and they go ahead and figure out what's the pick they want to make for their team.
Yeah, most definitely. Those interview processes are a pretty big deal when it comes down to it, but the Grizz Gaming pick is locked in and ready to go. We'll toss it down to Brendan at the podium to announce pick number 15.
With the 15th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Grizz Gaming selects Winner stays on, point guard from Virginia.
Oh, winner stays on, Mr. Positive. As soon as I saw this guy enter into the combine, I started seeing his videos that he's posting on Twitter. I was like, I just love this man's mentality. Like, he's so motivational. He's so positive there as well. And we'll hope he brings that flair to the interview here. We have winner stays on the floor with Scott.
That's right, winner stays on. He just told me this is a dream come true. How you feeling?
Hey, I feel really good, man. I just want to shout out everybody that went before me and everybody that's going after me. Good luck to y'all.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're heading to Memphis. What are you most excited about doing out there?
Just meeting my teammates, man, and just building that team chemistry. That's
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you. Back over to you, Dirk.
Yeah, see, you saw the positivity coming from that. Probably one of the most energetic interviews I think that we've had too. But just winner stays on, a class guy all around. So he lived in Virginia. He's gonna have to. He does have kids as well. Something that plays a part in it. So he's just gonna either, hey, you guys move out here with me and we'll put you somewhere else, or he's just gonna have to go forward that one as well. But winner stays on, almost averaging as many assists as he did points too. And we talked about that's teamwork first for him. That's what he wants. He wants to get his teammates and they want to get that championship.
Yeah, you saw how charismatic he was coming up to the podium. You love it. Adjustment for him, obviously, having a family of going to Memphis. But listen, Memphis has some amazing things down there, some great barbecue. Make sure you go past Lorraine Hotel, the museum, the Civil Rights Museum. There's so many cultural things down there that I've experienced. And obviously, I think for him having this opportunity with Grizz Gaming, this is going to be huge for him. It's going to be a transition, but at the same time, it's what you worked hard for, and it doesn't matter at what point in life, as long as you get there and you get that opportunity. He's getting it today.
And he went with that sharpshooting playmaker build, which is probably the most popular build that we do have for the point guard. So not only they're going to have that speed, they're going to be able to get those dribble moves going and allow themselves to get those combinations to free up space, but he's also off the dribble going to be able to shoot those shots. So that's where a lot of the times you start to see, I always like to call it dribble spam, but it's actually combinations. It's just the way you see their hands move and they're able to get it. I just sit there, I'm like, yeah, if I tried that, no way I would ever be able to do that. But that's just one of the things too, but going into that one, it definitely showed. It's 17 points a game and then 16 assists as well. So a little bit, not really on the low side of scoring. 17 is pretty good when it comes down to a point guard, but it just shows, I guarantee you, a lot of those assists were probably padding a center stats in this combine.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at assists. For me, when a guy can get other players involved and has the ability to score as well, that's two-pronged for you right there. As a coach, you're looking for somebody that can do a variety of things, and taking him as a point guard right now, and it's big for the Grizz.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like we said, it's always good to have that one guy, even though he might not be as talented as other people. If you sit there and you're just able to get that guy who's able to rally everyone together, he's going to be able to pick everyone up when they're down. That's going to be one of the big things, too. So as we near towards the end of round number 1, we're going to have Cavs Legion GC. Their pick is ready to go at number 16. We'll toss it down to the floor to hear the official announcement.
With the 16th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Cavs Legion GC selects Hood is Glitchy, point guard from Florida.
Hood is Glitchy, going to be taken there by Cavs Legion GC, and I feel like betrayed. He sat there, he stopped me, he's like, hey, Dirk, where'd you have Hood going? And I don't know what he looks like. And I was like, oh, honestly, probably like around that 7th or 8th pick, and little do I know, he swindled me out of it. So anyway, he's going to be going in that first round. He's going to be locked in for Cavs Legion GC, but we do have an interview with Hood down on the floor with Scotty Fresh.
Hanging out with Hood, how does it feel to be part of history here today?
Man, it feels crazy. It's a surreal feeling. I can't even explain it to you right now.
That's awesome. Well, talk to us about your shoes. You got the coolest shoes in New York City right now. Where'd you get these?
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You know, I had to come out and show people, you know, what I'm about. So, you know, I put on the nice shoes for them. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Well, everybody in Cleveland's going to get to know you real well. Congratulations, and congrats on having the coolest shoes in the building.
I want to give
Give a shout out to everyone in that Cleveland Cavaliers war room. Thank you guys for believing in me. Shout out to my mom and my sisters watching right now. I love you guys. Thank you for never giving up on me.
That's awesome. Congratulations. The hood is glitchy. Back to you, Dirk.
It's just a great all-around guy. And for you going through the draft, how important is that style factor on draft day? Shoes, everything.
Important. The wardrobe is important. Give it up for Hood is glitchy. He came out here and showed out. It's funny because he actually looked like he was dressed better than a couple of suits I've seen going across the NBA podium sometimes.
Dressed
so
better than me.
give it up.
100% better than
I love it. I love it. I love the personality, but I also love his game. I mean, he's a slasher playmaker. We've talked about that. But I think his efficiency at 64%. But he's also going to give you that defense a little bit that you need on the other side of the ball. And so, yeah, you can score the basketball, but having him on the defensive side is going to be good, too.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, too. He's able to make that transition. Usually, the meta that we saw is like a 6'10 small forward, almost like a Giannis-type player. That's what a lot of people are going for. So he's able to adapt going in towards that 6'3 type of guard. And honestly, I was very impressed with how quick that he was able to go through there as well. So, like you said, impressive stat line coming all the way around there from Hood. But already we're going to be in our last pick of the first round. This is going to be a crazy one. This is going to be Warriors Gaming Squad is going to get pick 17, but they're also going to get that back-to-back pick since we are doing that snake draft. So they're going to get the 17, then they will get the first pick in round number 2 there as well. So now, this is where you have the potential. There's still a lot of star-studded lineup, like players still left in this one. Yep. They can go ahead and start to rattle the world here a little bit. Try to probably go, I would say, to be on the safe side, go ahead and snag yourself a point guard. And at that point in time, maybe try to go for another dominant center. Get that point guard center combination, have that set and ready to go. And you know you're not going to get picks going on forward till a little bit later. So and then you can go ahead, get those 2 locked in. Everything else you can start to build around those core 2.
But keep in mind, too, this is going to be the last pick of the first round, and then you're getting the first pick of the second round. So you're getting 2 guys right there. It just goes about who they want to call first versus who they want to call second. They're going to get 2 picks, great picks, I think, right here.
Yeah, that's what I kind of sat there to myself. I was like looking at it. I was like, oh, which way to decide to go for that one? But word is in for the last pick here in the first round of the NBA 2K League draft. It's going to be Warriors Gaming Squad, pick number 17. Let's go down to the floor.
With the 17th overall pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League draft, Warriors Gaming Squad selects Sean Wynn, small forward from Illinois.
Sean Wynn gets the pick there for his game squad, so they go ahead and go with another small forward here. So now this is where it gets interesting. Who are they going to take? Are they going to go for that point guard? But we will have Sean Wynn down on the floor with Scott for an interview.
That's right. Sean Wynn heading to the Bay Area. How does it feel?
Feels great, man. Shout out to my little brother for believing in me, man. It's just a blessing for sure.
That's awesome. A lot of guys in this room. You guys are making history here tonight, being a part of this very first draft. What does it mean to be part of something so special?
It's definitely a blessing, man. Like I said, it's just words can explain how I'm feeling right now, man. I just shout out to everybody here. Everyone put so many hours into the game, and I'm happy that I'm just so happy. I can't even explain to you guys.
It's all right. He's overwhelmed with emotion. It's awesome to have him here. So glad you could be heading out to the Bay Area. Congratulations, and back over to you, Dirk.
Ooh. That's going to be the final pick there in that round number 1 as well with Sean Wynn. Another one I would consider to be those underrated guys going on forward. But you can see the first 17 here in that round number 1. The guys who have wrote the 17 pages so far in this page of 102. But we still have plenty more action left. But for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off here from NBA TV. I appreciate everybody that's coming on through over towards here as well. The action is still live here, though, on Twitch TV. Spam up those cappers, the PogChamp, any emote that you want to here for this draft. We're still continuing. Twitch.tv/NBA2K League as well. But so that first round, we'll just go ahead and try to recap that one with all the picks that did go through. So we start off with Dimes, and that was the expected overall pick coming in, which is Dimes going over there towards that Mav Gaming. And really, that top 3 was, I think, a lot of people's top 3 going on forward. And then with the Kings one, that's another thing. You can kind of decipher and pick from the managers, just if you know them for a time, there's been managers who have been in the scene for a little over a year now when it comes down to it too. But Kings, there's been a couple teams like them who have been off the radar. So they went ahead and went with Moody, which again is another stellar pickup. Pistons GT with Ramo there at the 5th spot. Blazers went with Walnut, and then we saw back-to-back centers as well coming in. Hot Shot goes over to Heat Check Gaming. Control to Magic Gaming there as well for the 9th pick, and that was Goofy going over towards the Knicks side. I think on a couple mock drafts, I ended up seeing Goofy going there. I think I had him actually coming in right at the beginning of the 2nd round. But then we moved into the second half of it. We went to pick 11, Raptors Uprising GC, ended up going away there with Kenny. Wizards District got JT. Pacers Gaming went with Wolf, the best lockdown defender in the game. 76ers GC, they went over there for Radiant. I know a lot of people maybe thinking Insanity has a close relationship, might be going their hometown guy over there, but Radiant ends up getting selected. Winner stays on, as we saw. The most positive person I think we'll run into in gaming, to be honest with you. Cavs Legion GC, they take Hood is Glitchy, and then Sean Wynn wraps it up with that pick 17 as well. And I like the diversity with it, and that's something that we kind of talked about was going forward. Is okay, is this going to be point guard heavy? Because that's how I feel. We said, go ahead to take the biggest person, like the best person all around there as well.
Yeah, and I think teams had great strategy here, and I think they also were playing off each other and really seeing not only best available, but also players that fit their team and what they wanted to do, whether it was chemistry-wise, personality-wise, and also their numbers, because all these players can play and have been at the top of their game. But I think it also came down to their overall package as well, because you're building out a team. You're not just going for the best player. So that's what this strategy seems to have been.
Yeah, so we talked about fashion, and we kind of got a glimpse of everybody. And like I said, I want to touch on it again. That fashion, like building up to it, is that a super hard decision to make, like what you're gonna wear, like out of anything else? Is it harder than like prom night or homecoming? Like you sit there, like I need to make sure I look the best out of anybody in this room. I want to go on that stage. I want to be in the next article on ESPN because of what I wear.
Well, you know what's really funny is people would think that women struggle with that a little bit more. We're used to getting dressed. I think it's harder for the guys actually at this point right now, because you have to think about it. This picture is going to be there forever. Women are used to doing that. We're used to getting dressed and making sure, we're looking presentable for certain things. But I think the guys today, great job. I think the NBA's done an excellent job bringing everybody in. They had opportunities. Nice. We've got some stuff we'll show later as far as lifestyle pieces and being out there, getting your hair cut, talking, just really embracing this whole experience of being here for the NBA 2K League.
That's a part of that as well, but we will have the lifestyle video coming up here right now. We followed the players around New York. We saw them get fitted for suits. We saw them get haircuts. Let's roll the video to follow the lives of these NBA 2K prospects.
Honestly, it's just like getting them at their best. When you look good, you feel good. And I think it's important for personality to come out. Ramen? Ramen. Okay. All right, welcome. Good job.
Oh yeah, we're trying to put something to life right now. You know, the draft is tomorrow. I'm trying to get to look my best, presidentials. We're going through all these things right now. This really stand out. I like this color. Yeah, I'm gonna let them do their thing. Like, these are guys are the best stylists in New York, so I'm gonna let them bring me life.
Helped me, and you guys swagged me out, and I had no kind of style like this. You guys really hooked me up, man. Oh yeah, when I step on the stage tomorrow and I get drafted, I'm gonna feel like $1 million. I feel good in this.
Yes, I'm wearing this tomorrow, swagging now, and we're gonna be in the game, baby. Just trying to get right, baby, for the draft. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get right, so I gotta get the fedora. Swag, good.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. All right.
Feel low, I go boss shot, ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel good, man. I'm like very confident in myself right now. Number one, I'm gonna be the number one draft pick and number one outfit. You know what I'm saying?
As you saw there in that video, I have none other than the first pick in the NBA 2K League draft. I have Dimes right next to me. Dimes, first off, congratulations. I mean, this is something we probably all saw coming here. You've had a very successful NBA 2K18 thus far, but just run us through, what was that feeling? You had Adam Silver, of all people, call your name up to the podium. You shook his hand. You got the hat. What was that like?
It was just surreal, man, and it's a blessing above all. I'm just excited to be here, and that's really, it's just crazy. It's still all sinking in, as you can tell.
So you're going from Cleveland, you now go down to Dallas, Texas, my Mavericks. I love them so dearly, even though they're not doing so hot, but you're going to Mavs Gaming. You know the mentality that's going to be going through. Jonah, going to be one of the head guys down there, the coach as well. How forward are you looking to teaming up with Jonas to try to build that championship caliber team?
I'm very happy. I'm happy that they got me. I'm happy that they have faith in me, and we're about to go win this championship.
I think, like we said, that's one of the things I put down. You're able to take you or something like that and then try to build around that in the best way possible. It puts you guys at a favorite. Plus, you just have the things that Jonah's going to bring to the table when it comes down to that coach. You guys are going to have an extra set of eyes as well. So going on forward, it's just, what are your expectations? I know it's championship, but what's the most thing that you're looking forward to? Just getting settled down, finding the rest of your 5 teammates? What do you want? Like, what's most expected?
Yeah, so definitely seeing who the rest of my teammates are. That's first, and then getting straight to work. We're getting straight to work. We're gonna start building that chemistry on and off the court, and get to know each other's tendencies, and trust, and build that trust, so we could get to work and start winning these games, and ultimately get back to that championship.
Yeah, and it's just something too. It's just the success, like we said, that you've had to. Just going on forward. I know that you're very excited just going on forward here as well, but. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things too is you're this first round pick, you're in the history book. How does that feel? Like you are the number 1 pick. Like when people look up NBA 2K League, they look at the first ever draft, your name is gonna pop up.
Yeah, well, it's great, and everybody says they're the best, and I feel like my credentials and resume speaks for itself. In that aspect of it. I won multiple tournaments. I won, the $250,000 tournament last year. So I feel like I deserve to be here, and I worked hard, and nobody's going to outwork me or work harder than me. And that still stands now. This doesn't stop me. My grind is going to continue, and I'm going to do the best I can to help the Mavs Gaming get to the championship and win it.
You guys heard from Dimes there, $250,000 NBA 2K17 winner, now first overall draft pick. Dimes, thank you so much for coming on here with us as well. But we're going to have a little bit of recap video coming in here, highlighting that first round, all the players getting their name called. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
My resume speaks for itself. I won the last year's tournament, the $250,000 tournament, multiple tournaments this year, 4 in a row, the only player to ever win 4 in a row. So, let's get it, man. Let's do it.
It feels really good knowing a team trusts me that high and to pick me at number 2.
What were you doing before you got drafted? What could we have found you doing?
I didn't have a job and my parents was mad, so I played this nonstop for 2-3 years.
So now what are you going to tell your parents?
I proved you guys wrong, and I love you guys.
What type of player is Pistons GT getting?
They're getting a complete package, 2-way player. I could do it on both ends. I could pass, I could dominate the game, and you're going to get a fierce competitor.
And right now, we're going to have the second overall pick here in round number 1. We're going to have Fab joining us. Fab, congratulations once more. I've been a guy that I've followed for quite some time going forward. I'm not going to act like I'm surprised that you went at pick number 2 either, but you're going to be heading over towards Boston. How excited you are to make that, really like that scenery change as a whole?
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to go to Boston and start winning.
That's just going to be one of the biggest things, too. I mean, you're going to have a lot going for you. Celtics is all about the championships. Can you bring that same energy that the entire organization has when it comes over to Celtics crossover gaming?
Oh, yeah. You know me. I press 94 feet. I'm going to bring a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think you're probably, just from watching you play, probably one of the most annoying people to play against just because of that constant pressure that you put on there as well. But Swin, if you have any questions, I know you got picked round 2.
I was obviously being picked second. It doesn't matter sometimes where you get picked, as long as you get picked to the right team. What's your mentality coming in and strategy to get the chemistry built right away with all the other players?
I just want to build a brotherhood and treat everyone equally, and we're going to win together, and I'm going to make sure we're on point with winning the championship.
And just thinking about kind of this whole gaming world, I know a lot of times, even young kids that are out there looking up to guys like you, Fab, who parents may be saying, you know what, don't play as many video games. Well, look where you're at right now, making history. What do you say to those young kids out there that are following you?
Just keep doing what you're doing and don't stop. Keep on believing and work hard. That's the number one thing to being great at something. It's a lot of time and effort. So just keep on doing it.
Yeah, parents, let your kids play video games. Look at what's happening here. Lives are changing, okay? Fab, thank you so much for coming on, man. Congratulations on the round 2 pick there as well. But with that being said, after that interview, it is time to dive into round number 2. We will have Warriors Gaming Squad back on the clock here for the first pick in round 2. It's going to be one of the things, too. We saw who they picked. So they picked Sean Wynn, the small forward, going on forward here. And while I have you here, Fab, might as well just pick your brain a little bit as well. Who could you see Warriors Gaming Squad taking with this first pick in the second round?
I thought they were going to pick Mama.
Mama? I can see that's a good pick. I mean, there's definitely potential for quite many players to go over towards here. I believe that we've only had, I think, around 2 small forwards taken here in this one as well. So look to try to cross over that one more. But since Warriors Gaming Squad, they picked that small forward already. Yeah. Now they have to try to go for a different position. So they have to either lock down a point guard, shooting guard, power forward, or center position there as well.
And we've talked about just how important the point guard position is. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to get best available point guard right now, understanding that their pick's not going to come later in this round.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things, too. So just a few notable point guards that are still left. I mean, you have Timely Cook, a point guard who definitely, I think, could probably go towards this pick right now. And then a lot of them, too. I believe that we still have Majestic is still going to be on the table. That's definitely another guy that you can go through and go ahead and pick. So you definitely have many options to play for. And then once those guys kind of go, I feel like that's where we might see the point guard sort of shy away a little bit. That's where we'll start to see more people probably expanding, trying to get the best shooting guard at the time, or going for that small forward, power forward, or center there as well. So as we wait for this pick to come in, I'm excited to see who they get this like 1-2 punch with on their team.
Yeah, I think so. I think the great thing is we'll know right away who your teammate is back to back. So as they're going through the interviews and going through this whole process, they'll be able to talk and kind of go through it together in the back.
And that's just like one of the things, too, where if you're in this situation where you have these late rounds, you play your draft strategy completely different because you get those back-to-back picks. And even when you're in like probably the last 3 picks of the draft, you know you're going to get another draft pick coming within like the next 2 or 3 picks. So that's something that you have to try to transition with. You have to build everything completely different from what everybody else is doing. Compared to like what the side of like Celtics crossover and Mavs are doing, they get that one player and then they can just sit there a little bit. Okay, we know we're not getting a pick for a while, then we take somebody. But this, with back-to-back, you can't mess it up. But ladies and gentlemen, the pick is going to be in for the first overall pick here in the second round. It's going to be Warriors Gaming Squad. Let's go ahead and throw it down to Brendan Donahue at the podium to make the announcement.
With the first pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Warriors Gaming Squad selects B. Smooth, shooting guard from Oregon.
So we see first shooting guard is going to end up going there. That one is going to be B. Smooth. And this is a guy who actually I went up against in the combine. And I have one word, I didn't want to play the game anymore. That's how I felt. Like, that he just dominated everything as well. He came in as a pure sharpshooter, which that's either what you saw coming in from the shooting guards in the combine, which is either going to be a shot-creating slasher or that pure sharpshooter as well. But we do have B. Smooth down on the floor with Scotty Fresh.
That's right, hanging out with B. Smooth, who's staying on the West Coast, heading down to the Bay Area. You just got drafted. How excited are you right now?
Man, I'm excited. This will be interesting, honestly. Shooting guard, small forward, it's an interesting selection, but I think it could work, honestly, with the right picks going on later on in the draft. But I don't got nothing to say right now. I'm just
He's speechless. He's so excited. He just got drafted. How does it feel to be a part of this historic night?
Oh, man, it's amazing. And also on that note, if my brother is watching, I'll try to get you a Curry signature, but can't do my best. I'm thankful for everything right now.
That's awesome. Well, big shout out, B Smooth, getting drafted, heading to the Bay Area. Congratulations. Over to you, Dirk.
Yeah, B Smooth, and like we said, he's going to be the first shooting guard going, and like kind of a lot of people predicted that shooting guards might start going in this round number 2, 3, and then we'll probably see more shooting guard heavy going down the line there as well. But B Smooth, like I said, impressive numbers. I have experience from playing on it, 58% from three-point range on that pure sharpshooter. And when you invest all your archetypes into that pure sharp, that's where you need to be able to hit these numbers that a lot of people might see unrealistic from the three-point range. And that's definitely what he did, 58% there, and just he can get it done inside. So look for him to kind of be that catch and shoot guy as well, and he's always going to be the person trying to get his teammates more involved.
Yeah, a great efficiency of 76% there, and a winning percentage as well. I think the biggest thing for me is that I like the fact where his mentality is about how they're building a team. He saw who they took first and then him, and he's like, oh, okay, it can work for us. But there's a strategy, I think, definitely behind Warriors Gaming Squad and what they're trying to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's trying to get a lot of players that can shoot the basketball.
And that's just like one of the things, too, is it's like, I mean, he's being just completely honest. I don't think anybody would expect a shooting guard and a small forward to go back-to-back in a situation like that, too. So it definitely is interesting, but that's going to kind of pave the way for the rest of the draft. What is the Warriors Gaming Squad going to do? Now which position they go ahead and sag. So they got the shooting guard, the small forward. So, and that's the thing. The Warriors Gaming Squad, they're not going to have another pick going way, way, way deep, all the way into the last pick of the round 3, too. So that's where you're sacrificing a lot. You're going to allow a lot of these top-level point guards to go. The power forwards and same things with the center, all you have to pick from as well. But Cavs Legion GC, we saw them get a pick there earlier as well, and now they are the second pick here in the second round. Let's go ahead and toss it down to the podium to make the announcement.
With the second pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Cavs Legion GC selects Sick X973 from New Jersey, center.
I think out of any center that we've seen, averaging close to 40 points a game as that center, also bringing in 15 boards. He's averaging close to 2 blocks a game and then 3 steals a game too. And this is why Sick has always been kind of referred to as being one of those top centers. And like we said, in the combine, you can see all the statistics, but if we just kind of date back and look, you're looking at Hot Shot and Sick to kind of be those top guys. But we do have an interview with Sick down on the floor with Scotty Fresh.
That's right, hanging out with Sick. How do you feel, buddy?
I can't believe I dropped this late, honestly, but I'm ready.
So you're going to use that as a little bit of motivation this upcoming season?
It's over. Me and Hood, it's over.
We got a confident Sick. He's excited. Are you excited to be heading to Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's ready.
This is the team. This is the team.
He's got a lot of confidence and a chip on his shoulder. Congratulations, Sick. Heading to Cleveland. Back to you, Dirk.
And it's honestly great. It is something that just kind of like slipped over my head there just a little bit. Cavs Legion ends up getting Hood is Glitchy, who is looked at as one of the top point guards right now, and then now you bring in one of the top centers. So I initially thought that the Cavs Legion GC strategy might just be, oh, you know what, we might try to go with something similar to what the Warriors Gaming Squad did, but maybe go with more of like a power forward, small forward type setup. But they've gone ahead and went for that point guard and center, and that's perfect. That just becomes a very scary team, and now you just have to fill out these next points, which a lot of these, I could picture them maybe going towards those shooters, just trying to find people who are going to be able to play and allow Sick to do his thing. And like we said, the stat line was just phenomenal coming from Sick in the combine.
Yeah, they've anchored it at 2 positions, that point guard and that center position, that gives you not only points, scoring, it also gives you a gamer that has a bit of a chip on his shoulder that you like as well. And so I think for me, the biggest thing that I can say from Cavs gaming that I've seen is that they are taking everything into consideration in regards to not only how many points you're scoring, defensively what you're doing, but also like the efficiency. I mean, both those guys have high efficiency numbers as well.
Yeah, like I said, completely went over my head, but that's just a phenomenal first 2 picks for Cavs Legion 2. I mean, they
It's a
made the
great
most
start for them.
Yeah, I mean, they made the most of just having not necessarily back-to-back picks, but being damn near close enough to have those as well. So we'll see Grizz Gaming. They're going to have the 3rd overall pick here in this round. It's going to be interesting to see who they do match them up against. Just to recap, they did get Winner Stays On sitting at that 15. So I feel like with Winner Stays On coming to the team, now if you're Grizz Gaming, you need a scorer. That's going to be one of the big things, too, is that now which way do you want to go about it? Are you going to try to maybe get a shooting guard to try to take over that scoring load? Because we did see some pretty high numbers coming in from shooting guards in the combine overall. But I feel like this is maybe the right time. You get a center so you know you can try to at least get that guaranteed score, get that consistent play coming from them as well. And I feel like it could just be a common strategy where you're just going to see teams, they're going to get that point guard, maybe get that center, and obviously not Warriors Gaming Squad case, but it's just going to be one of those things, too, where they're probably going to fill out with shooters going all the way around, and maybe even a slasher coming in there as well. But Grizz Gaming, the pick is locked in. We'll go ahead and toss it down to the floor for the announcement.
With the 3rd pick of the second round of the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Grizz Gaming selects Authentic African center from Ontario, Canada.
Just with Grizz Gaming, that they already have their point guard locked in, and Winner Stays On, who even himself, he's more of a pass-first point guard. Now they're bringing Authentic African again. These centers put up insane numbers, but the thing is, compared to other centers, I mean, it's not like 22 points per game is bad by any means, but 18 rebounds for Authentic African as well.
Yeah, 18 rebounds right there. And then look at the steals as well. It's going to give you a few steals. And field goal percentages up high, 73%. But even from 2s on the inside, not going to give you the 3s you want, but dominating inside that lane for sure.
And that's just one of those things, too, is that, yeah, we talked about Winner Stays On. He's all positive. He's very motivational when it comes down to it. But Authentic African, exact same thing. He's going to be bringing up his teammates, whether it's on the court or off the court. So now you probably have the most positive team in the entire 2K League just by bringing on these 2 guys as well. But as we've been rambling on, the 76ers GC, they're on the clock here in this one. So have 2 minutes left to try to go forward. Their first pick did come in there from Radiant, so that was going to be another point guard. So we'll see if, again, are they going to try to just pair it with the centers? Something that what we've been seeing is that strategy, and I think it's kind of what we expect when you go for that point guard first.
Yeah, I think when you go for that point guard, you have to figure out where your big's going to come from, and we've seen teams do that. That's been a strategy. But keep in mind, some of the teams that haven't gone with the point guard and maybe have gone with a small forward or a shooting guard, you tend to think, well, are they feeling like some of the point guards who may not have high scoring but can pass the basketball, they can get them later on in the round, and they're going to stock their team with the wing and then the center position?
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I think if you're 76ers, you maybe just play this one safe, and maybe if they don't go towards that center out, maybe try to go for a power forward who's going to be able to at least try to get that bully ball down low. It's mostly just the way that the combine panned out. It was you're relying on a lot of your rebounding is going over towards that center. And then for the power forward, they need to do that dirty work down low despite them not having the height. That's what you kind of expect them to do, and then offensive rebounds going that way too. But maybe could see a small forward pick coming in here from the 76ers as well to try to get that one going. But at this point in time, I do think it's just play it safe, grab that center. I mean, we still have plenty of centers who we can sit here and just kind of ramble on about too, especially when it comes statistically. Another Canadian guy in Kobe Yusuf, that's going to be another center who I have listed probably going into this round in my mock draft as well, just the way that he's been able to play the entirety of the time. We've seen Walnut go, we've seen Hotshot go, we've seen Sit go. And another guy, too, that's worth mentioning is Larry. I mean, he has that console professional esports experience in the past as well, playing in that LAN environment. So that's something that we have to bring up with Larry, and I feel like it's something maybe too many people aren't going to look at in this. They're just kind of be like, okay, well, these guys can play. But when it comes down to that first live event where you're all together in a team, you're flying to the studio, you're all getting ready to play, it's a completely different environment. It's not where you're sitting at home and you're just sitting there in front of your TV now. Like, you're in front of a live crowd. You're going to have the players right across from you. And people think, oh, it's no big deal. I mean,
it's a big deal.
It's huge. And you can touch on it. You've played live WNBA games there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's different having a live audience. It's different than having those lights be brighter on the biggest stage. But this is what the guys have worked hard for, and it's just really about getting there and performing and tuning all those different things out, but still keeping kind of that chemistry and the confidence that got you where you are today.
Yeah, most definitely. 76ers GC, you're up. You are ready to go. We'll throw it down to the podium for pick number 4 of the second round.
With the 4th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, 76ers GC selects Nudini 33, shooting guard from Illinois.
Splash Brothers mentality is what I'm going to call that. When they go for the point guard, they go for the shooting guard there as well with Nudini. He went into the draft being on that pure sharpshooter there as well. So it'll be interesting to see with him and Radiant at that 1-2 punch what they're going to be able to do. And again, the other team maybe taking a little bit of a risk going forward. They went ahead and just snagged that shooting guard and went on forward. But there's the talent pool definitely in the shooting guard side is a little more minuscule. So let's make sure to just try to get those top players. But we'll have an interview with Nudini down on the floor. We're fresh.
Right, hanging out with Nudini. I'm sure it's been a whirlwind few weeks. You know, the draft is coming up. You don't know where you're going to go, and now you do know you're heading to Philadelphia. How do you feel?
I feel great. I just want to give a shout out to my family and friends watching at home, my girlfriend watching, my TMM family that I've been playing with all of 18. It's surreal. I didn't expect to go this early, honestly, so I'm glad that they gave me the opportunity.
That's wonderful, and you're heading to Philadelphia. What can fans expect from you out there?
We're going to win a championship.
He said he's calling the championship right now. Nudini, congratulations. Heading to Philadelphia. We're going to head back now to the table with you, Dirk.
Oh, you love the confidence coming from there. He says, like, other teams have been saying, we're going to work that championship. He just comes out and says, we're winning the championship.
A little Rasheed Wallace on him. Call it out. They claim it. I'm not mad at him.
I love the comment. That's what we've been waiting for in these interviews, is to hear somebody just kind of say something like that. Trust the process. I mean, Philadelphia is going pretty good right now too. So can their gaming team go along with that one? But now it will be Pacers gaming on the clock. So now this is where it gets interesting. They took Wolf at that small forward position. So now you already have somebody who's going to be able to guard the 1 through 3. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things. So now, honestly, if you are the Pacers, go for a score-heavy point guard, I think, in this situation. Or either way, go for a center or who can score pretty heavy as well. I mean, that's something with Wolf. Yes, he's a great defender. I'll give it the defending skills of like a Kawhi Leonard type deal, but the offense is where it's a little bit of a question, just because his role has mostly been, okay, sit in the corner, just wait for a shot. And he's, over time, back to 2K17 now moving into this one, he's been able to hit those shots more consistently as well, but he's not that guy who's going to get that dribble drive going on through, utilizing those jab steps. His job is to defense, spot up and shoot.
Yeah, you got to get points right here, I think, if you're Pacers gaming. I think they understand that. It's just about where they're going to get it from. Are they going to go with the point guard? Because at the end of the day, you understand, especially when the game's on the line down the stretch, ball's going to be in your guard's hands. And having a playmaker is good to have in that position, but at the same time, bigs. If you can get a big that can score and defend on the inside, that's a plus for you right now.
Yep, so we saw Pacers Gaming take Wolf in round number 1. Now here into round 2 with pick number 5. We'll see what Pacers Gaming is going to do.
With the 5th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Pacers Gaming selects Swizzerk, shooting guard from California.
You see Swizzerk coming in there with that pick too, and now this is something interesting. We've talked about it time and time again this draft. Well, maybe teams go down that route of finding those players who have either teamed in the past or are currently teaming. Wolf and Swizzerk run the same breakout team. That Dimes is on too. So now you pair up 2 guys, and Swizzerk, a great, phenomenal shooter. I remember there was a time when 2K18 started and he kind of went MIA, but he was just grinding out his character. All of a sudden pops up. It's like, oh, hey, I got all these badges, Hall of Fame. I'm ready to go play Pro Am. And everyone's like, where have you been? Like, you just came up out of the blue, out of nowhere too. So now you have Swizzerk and Wolf. That goes to the Pacers Gaming. Like I said, it's definitely an interesting strategy when it comes down to it, because Swizzerk really isn't a primary ball handler. And I mean, obviously, you're not just going to have the point guard bringing the ball every single time down the floor there as well. But I honestly do like that one. I think you get probably one of the best shooting guards with that pick there coming in from Swizzerk.
Yeah, and you talked about the shooting guards being a little thin in that area with this draft. So they had to take a shooting guard they felt could give them the points that we both were discussing a second ago. So it's good that they took him at this pick right now, but it's going to be interesting to see next round who they're going to be able to get and if they fit with both Swizzerk and Wolf.
That'll definitely be interesting. And Swizzerk, too, another guy in that Stiltro lineup, $250,000 winner. He has that experience when it comes down to playing on that big stage. So definitely something you look for him, honestly, right off the bat to kind of be, not in a sense that vocal leader, because I want to wait just to see who the point guard, power forward, and the center are going to be. But I think that's just going to be one of the biggest things for me, is just when we transition going forward, who is going to be that vocal leader. But when it comes down to when you're in that LAN environment, I fully expect Swizzerk to kind of like guide the team. Like, guys, I've been here before, I've won, like I know what this feeling's like. Let me try to guide you in a sense and get you feeling comfortable in towards this LAN environment. But it will be Wizards District Gaming back here on the clock. It's going to be pick number 6 here in the second round as well. Their first round pick ended up going over towards Fresh Prince JT. So we'll see what they're going to do. Are they going to, they've gone to the blue here, try to take a small forward, or are they just going to go for that big man? And like we said, it just, with the analytical side of things, Wizards District Gaming's another one of those teams who they have Pete Cross, former Throwdown member, who's the manager of that team. Then they went ahead and brought in B-Stank and Sammy Cool to try to fill out that one, to try to get more intel when it comes down to here on this draft night. And I tried picking their brains. It wouldn't tell me, even though I love Beast so much, and not so much after this one. I hope you're watching as well. But no, just the Wizards District Gaming, they definitely have the upper hand because they've just pulled people from the community, and now they're going to be able to go. They have that NBA 2K knowledge, and I feel like that's going to be huge going into this. I mean, obviously you want somebody who's going to have that 2K knowledge moving forward into this draft as well.
I mean, I think you look at all these teams, all 17 teams, they really kind of not only, you have to have the buy-in, but you also have to surround yourself with people that understand the game and understand the players. And so when you're building a team, it's like analytics right now. You get all the information, everything you need, and then you pick from the information that's presented to you. So right now, this is going to be an interesting pick. We liked the first pick whenever they had Fresh Prince JT. He was excited to go there. Now let's see what direction you think you're going to go in this right here with this pick.
I honestly, I want to say go with Detoxies for this one. This is a guy, again, another $250,000 winner, and he's just proven time and time again what he's been able to do at that position. And he's a guy who's kind of swapped between going from power forward to center there as well. But enough of the jibber jabber. We're going to have the pick coming up for you right now. Wizards District Gaming, they're ready to go, and we're going to toss it over to the podium to Brendan.
With the 6th pick of the second round of the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Wizards District Gaming selects Shump, power forward from Virginia.
Staying home, man. Staying home, baby. Staying home.
And this is one of these things, too, is that JT and Shump, they had a team before, but before Shump made the transition into going over to a different console there as well. So that's going to be one of the things. You now have JT and Shump. They're teamed up back together. Scott, we're going to throw it down to you with an interview with JT.
That's right, hanging out with Shump, who just told me he's 10 minutes away from D.C., so he's really excited to be staying at home. A lot of excitement, big smile. What's going on through your mind?
Man, I like everybody else said, man, I can't believe I just failed this far, bro. I can't believe it.
Chip on your shoulder, ready to prove some doubters?
Oh, you already know. Me and JT got chemistry, so we can be good going into the league.
That's awesome. A lot of chips on some shoulders here this afternoon, but they're going to use it as fire. Congratulations to you, Shump. Heading to D.C. Back to you, Dirk.
And that's just one of those things, too, they talked about. They had that chemistry, and again, another player who's like, I don't think I should have came in here. I mean, it's still early here, too. We're only 6 rounds into the second round there as well, but I know a lot of these guys, in their heads, they're thinking, I deserve to be a first-round pick there as well, too. But just with Shump and JT, a very great pickup. Like you said, I think chemistry is just going to be the biggest focal point, and when it comes down to sports or whether you're playing esports, you can have an all-star lineup. You don't have that chemistry, it's going to fail. That's just one of the things that we have to take away from it as well. But with the pairing of Shump and JT, I like that one. Shump, another guy who I think he transitioned over towards playing more of an athletic rebounder going in towards this one, or a slashing rebounder. But he's another guy who is known for his shooting, knowing to sit outside of the arc and then just get that catch and shoot going forward.
Yeah, you talk about the catch and shoot, but you also look at the rebounds, giving you about 12 rebounds a game, and his passing ability to really pass the basketball. That's what you need is somebody that can be that glue guy as well. Yeah, they can score, but can you pass the ball? Can you get your teammates involved? He talked about the chemistry he has with JT. That's a plus. But, I mean, another guy that's saying, hey, I should have been higher in this draft. Why not? If you feel that way, go out there and you definitely prove them wrong. But I also like the fact with Shump, you talk about homegrown. You look at Washington and what they're doing, just like we did with in Florida, and we also got here in New York and other teams. Like, they're starting to look for different players that can represent and are also homegrown.
Yeah, and this is where it's really just going to come down to at this point. maybe, if you can't maybe get two guys who have teamed together in the past, that's where you're saying, okay, now we have to kind of rewrite things. If maybe they have had two teammates who have played together, then that's where you can kind of go through. Like if we go all the way down to that Kingsguard Gaming pick and Insanity's not there, I expect Insanity and Moody to team up to be that kind of like that 1-2 punch there as well. But the pick is going to be in Raptors Uprising GC. They are ready to rock and roll. Let's send it down to the floor.
With the 7th pick of the second round of the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Raptors Uprising GC selects Detoxys, power forward from New Hampshire.
See the Toxies being taken there, and they took Kenny in that first round. Again, former teammates. These guys in NBA 2K17 battled their way through the Xbox side of the bracket, found themselves all the way down in towards NOLA. So no surprise again, going with those former teammates, but we will now be tossing it down to the floor with the Toxies. He's with Scott.
That's right. Detoxy's heading up to Canada. How does it feel to get drafted here today?
Man, it feels great, and I'm going to be teamed up with my buddy Kenny, who we won 250K with. So that's going to be a good duo, and you got to watch out for us going forward.
That's awesome. So you have obviously some history with who's already there. What can fans in Canada expect from you?
Right, they're going to expect a championship and nothing less.
I love all the confidence here today. My man heading up to Toronto. Back over to you, Dirk.
To you. He's almost average. I just see the Toxies there. He had an impressive combine, and you see he brought up the thing with Kenny is like they're going to be another 1-2 punch to really look out for going into this one. So he's going to be taken with the 7th pick in the second round, and we look at the stat line here. I think he's probably one of the only players to average close to a near triple-double.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, his ability to affect the game in a number of ways, which really makes him a great pickup for the Raptors Uprising. And I also look at the fact about 2-pointers versus threes. You're not going to get a 3-point shooter. We understand that with this power forward. But you get an efficient one that's giving you about 71% from twos and efficiency of 71%. Those are big numbers for me. I look at guys that can be efficient in their game, within their game, in their realm, and he does that great.
And this is just like one of the things too is like you brought like you're not going to get more of much of a shooting presence. I mean, 0% from three, didn't even attempt one. Which I mean, with the build that he had, you don't want him shooting threes. That's just sort of one of those. Maybe you're blowing a team out. It's like, hey, just go ahead and let me shoot. But just with the Toxies, he's a guy who likes to sacrifice a lot too. He's not just going to be this guy who's always needs to be into the action. You tell him stay out and let us run the show, which I don't think they're going to do by any means. But he's very unselfish. He'll allow the other players to shine as well. And as we're moving on forward here, the picks are taking a little longer. That's just because a lot of people's mock draft boards are now finally starting to be busted with everything that's been going down too. But I can't wait till the end of the night once we can see these full teams. You can sit there and you can see clear-cut favorites with how these guys are going to play there as well. But the pick is now going to be in at number 8. Round 2 is going to be Bucks Gaming.
With the 8th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Bucks Gaming selects O'Leary, center from Florida.
See O'Leary going to be taken there, and now you have Drake Griffin, and then now you have O'Leary as well to kind of round out this 1-2 punch for this team. So it's great to just kind of see the strategy going down. We're seeing some point guard centers, we're seeing point guard small forwards as well, but we will have an interview with Larry down there with Scotty Fresh.
That's right, a historic day here in New York City. You just got drafted, dude. How happy are you right now?
I'm happy, man. This is what we've been working hard for, man. This is what we've been waiting on, and I get to compete with my boy Drake, so I'm ready to fight.
What does it mean to be a part of something so historic? The first ever draft, you're a part of it. What does it mean to you and everybody here in this room?
I mean, this is what we pushed for, man. But, playing so many years and dreaming that this would get this big, and it's finally here.
Nice. Well, congratulations to O'Leary. Back over to you, Dirk.
And that's another thing, too. Again, you've seen O'Leary actually fill in for an MPBA roster with this alongside Drake on GFG, too. So, again, you're getting a great 1-2 punch. They're going to have that chemistry. And just from talking to Larry in the past, he's another guy who has that professional console experience when it comes down to esports. And that's something that you definitely hold value to. They're going to know what that competitiveness is like, who's going to be the best, what it takes to actually take down the best there as well. So, for Bucks Gaming, again, it's going to be another great pick going between those guys. And Larry's stats as well, phenomenal. 26 points a game, 17 rebounds. And again, he had 6 assists, so he was getting close 4 assists away from getting that triple-double as well.
Yeah, and I think the other thing for him, too, is defensive rebounds. So he's a guy that's going to be on the glass. I mean, you talked about having 17 rebounds, but if you have the ability to hit those defensive boards and getting your team out and in transition, those are other areas of opportunity there for your team. And I think he's a slasher. He's a rebounder. That's what they have. They have a great center in him. And I think the combination of playing with a player prior to being drafted bodes well for a team that's drafting right now.
Yeah, it most definitely does. And it's just thing, too, offensive rebounds getting close to 7. Just think of how many second chance points they're going to be able to get from that one, too. And just with the IQ that Larry has and just the way that he knows how the game plays, he knows those right times when you go up there and snag a board, am I going to go up on this guy? Or am I going to be smart and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and back this ball out. Let's get to a shooter or just try to go for a complete reset there as well. So that's something we haven't been focusing on too much, but I think offensive rebounds is definitely a big thing just from somebody who has played in the combine and seeing really what it takes to win. You need to make sure that you're getting offensive boards. It's honestly one of the keys to winning here, but now it's going to be Knicks back on the clock. We saw them take a power forward the first round. That was going to be Goofy, 7'5'7". Again, I keep saying I think point guard, but we've seen a lot of crazy things when it comes to those power forwards, like the small forwards and everything going there as well. But Knicks Gaming, they're on home turf. They're in home territory. They do have their pick locked in here in round number 2.
With the 9th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Knicks Gaming selects Nate Call, small forward from Wisconsin.
Nate Call, drafted over there towards the Knicks, so he's going from cows to taxis. That's all I think when I think of New York. I think taxis, but no, the Wisconsin native now will be making his way over there towards the big city as well. But we do have Nate Call for his post-draft interview down the floor with Scott.
That's right, Nate. You got drafted here in New York City. You're playing in New York City. How you feel?
It's crazy, man. It's going to be exciting to be here. A lot of energy. I'm excited to start it up.
That's awesome, man. What can fans here in New York expect from your game?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to bring a lot to the table, try to win a championship. That's the goal.
A lot of people confident about that championship this year. I love the confidence in this room. Congratulations, Nate. Back over to you, Dirk.
And that's just like one of the things too is Nate has always been one of those like truly humble guys. Like this is a guy too. He's not only is he great at pro-am and in the combine, just when it comes down to just playing his 1v1 head-to-heads. I mean, we've seen one of the Do NBA 3-time tournaments there as well. So that's just something to bring up. You're getting a great all-around guy. Came into the combine with a shot-creating slasher and just looking to try to be that leader, trying to be that person, the scorer for this side. And at that small forward position, that's exactly what you need. You either need to be able to defend, you need to be able to score. Scoring definitely shows there in the combine stats.
Yeah, definitely in the combine stats. And then you also look at his shooting percentage, and you go from 74% from the field and then also 46% from 3. At the end of the day, he gives you opportunities to score the basketball. We saw them go with Goofy early on, and that means that they have scoring on both ends. Their forwards are secured. Now where do they go from here? But they've really secured their forward game, especially their small forward and power forward.
Yeah, and it's when you come down to playing that archetype in the shot-creating slasher, typically you're going to be the guy that's leaking out in those fast breaks. You need your bigs, you need Goofy to try to get that ball in transition. He's averaging about 7.5 points there a game when it comes down to points off of turnovers as well. So he's definitely my guy. And like I said, when you run that archetype, it's going to be hard because if you're playing small forward and your team's telling you to spot up, you're like, well, I'm a shot creating slasher, but these guys are going to have the ability to change up what archetypes that they want to run too. So, I mean, you can still hit the 3-pointer with a shot creating slasher. It's going to be very hard to do. Like trying to get that guaranteed green window and trying to get that shot, it's going to be tough, but Goofy and Nate, teaming up together here in New York.
Versatility. They have versatility there.
That's one of the big things that goes into it too. These guys both have experience when it comes down to playing Pro-Am as a whole, and it's just impressive stat lines really from what we're seeing from anybody. There's not really one guy who's kind of lacking in this statistic. It's either if they might not have as much as the other players, they make up for it in either like assists or rebounds. Like that's how it really goes. But I don't expect everybody here to drop 35 points a game. I mean, that's just a little bit out of the norm, but as the clock is winding down for Magic Gaming, 10 seconds left to try to make their pick. The first round, go to our notes real quick. Ooh, they took control. So a point guard in this one. I don't even want to make a prediction, but I don't have to make a prediction because we have the pick in. Magic Gaming is all locked and loaded and ready to go. Let's toss it down to the stage.
With the 10th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Magic Gaming selects UC Manny, power forward from New York.
UC Manning will be the pick for Magic Gaming here in this round number 2. So now you have control. He's going to be paired up here with a power forward in UC Manning, averaging about 15 points per game. Has a lot of passes per game as well, but has those assists as well as the rebounds. But we will have UC Manning down the floor there with Scotty boy. Scotty, what does he have to say?
He's happy. He's excited. He's having a great day. He just got drafted. Tell me how you're feeling, dude.
I'm amazed. I mean, this is surreal right now. You know, this is going to be crazy. I'm ready to just compete.
Awesome. You're from New York City. You're leaving the state. You're moving. What's going through your mind? Are you nervous about making that big move?
Yes, definitely. With the hot weather we're going to get in the summer, yeah, I'm just ready for it, you know. So.
You going to go to Disneyland?
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, congratulations. Back over to you, Dirk.
Thank you so much, Scott, for back here onto the desk. And we just kind of go through and break down a lot of the statistics. I mean, we went like deep down into this. How many times you touch the ball, what's your percentages, how many times you actually poke the ball loose, and things like that as well. So 12% steal percentage, 10% block. Just one of the things that we talked about, again, if you're not scoring a lot of points per game, you're making up for it in something as well. 14 rebounds a game for a power forward is pretty impressive, but the thing I'm looking at, the big focal point, those steals. How big is that for a team when you have somebody averaging this many steals a game?
That's major because that's opportunity for you to take it and be able to go to the other end and score baskets. And that means he's highly active on defense. But, I mean, he's also a distributor. He can rebound. I mean, he does a number of things. His tenacity, I think, on a defensive end is probably one of the biggest reasons why they took him right now, too.
Heat Check Gaming, they're going to be up. They took a center. I think that was probably one of the first centers. I was okay. No, we saw One Wild Walnut go first to Blazers Gaming, and then we actually ended up seeing Hot Shot go there as well. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting. If you're Heat Check Gaming, you can kind of sit there. It's like you already have one of the best centers in the game. Do you try to go for a power forward? Get the big bodies down low. That's going to be one of the things, but we're going to find that out right now. Heat Check Gaming, pick number 11 here in round number 2. We're ready to rock.
With the 11th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Heat Check Gaming selects Majestic, point guard from New York.
That's a huge pick, in my opinion, coming in there from Heat Check Gaming. And that's just one of the things, too, is typically we've seen Fab and Majestic team up a little bit. And I don't want to say he's like living under the shadow of Fab almost, but it's just a Majestic can play. And I feel like he might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, but now he's going to be paired up with one of the best centers in the game. It's exactly what you want to see. We do have Majestic down on the floor there with Scott for a post-draft interview.
Right, Majestic heading down to Miami. How excited are you?
Miami? Super excited.
He's happy to be heading down to the beach, man. What are you looking forward to bringing down there to Miami?
Me and Hotshot on the same team, best center. We winning it all.
You heard it right here. He says he's winning it all. Back over to you, Dirk.
Again, another confident response, something that we love to see, and he knows the value that Hotshot does bring to the table there as well. But just overall, Majestic, a phenomenal player. So when you pair him up with a guy like Hotshot, they're going to be able to work out that pick and roll down to a T. It really comes down to as well with Hotshot and the rebounding ability that he does have when it comes down to the offensive rebounds, get out to Majestic for a reset. It's going to be a deadly 1-2 punch moving on forward. And I'm giving my props to Famous for that one. That's a phenomenal pick going on forward. Honestly, in my head, I was either thinking, okay, you can either go with Timely Cook, who was somebody I could see going with that one as well, or Majestic going on forward. So still, overall, a great pick, but now it's going to put the Blazers back up. They took one wild walnut, and you have to go with a point guard. Yeah. Please, pair up the center with a point guard. That's going to be one of the biggest things. So honestly, could see Timely going here. And this is a guy, honestly, I pictured Timely going in that round number 1. I didn't think he would fall down into the second round. I think that's one of my big shockers so far and one of the biggest takeaways for me going on forward. But it's going to be interesting to see who they try to pair up the center with. And obviously, I think we can both agree you need that point guard to go with the center.
Yeah, I think so. But we've seen a couple of these teams kind of take a jump in going with a shooting guard or a small forward and a power forward. And we really haven't seen consistently in this second round here point guards going. So this would be a perfect opportunity right here to get a solid point guard for them.
I have to think in my head, if the Blazers Gaming doesn't pick Timely here, I have to think that the Pistons GT is going to take Timely at that one.
Yeah.
I know it's something that they valued. They wanted to try to get a top point guard, but they wanted to try to get the best overall first and then move on forward with that one as well. So with Blazer Gaming, with the pick 12, 35 seconds left on the clock to try to make the decision, you're trying to pair somebody up with the one wild walnut. That's going to be one of the biggest things, but we did just get word. The pick is going to be in Blazers Gaming with pick number 12 in round number 2. Let's toss it down to Brendan on the stage.
With the 12th pick of the second round in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Blazer 5 Gaming selects Mama I'm Dat Man, point guard from California.
Blazer 5 Gaming there. They're going to go ahead and take Mama I'm Dat Man. And again, a lot of people are going to know about him if you've been around in the Pro-Am community just as a whole. He played 58 games there in the Combine, 78% win percentage, but his number's even more impressive.
Numbers more impressive for sure. You got 24 points a game, and he's giving you about 14 assists. I mean, doing a little bit of everything, but probably in this draft, one of the most highly scoring point guards that you have, with giving you about 24 points a game for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. So now we're going to toss it down to an interview with probably one of the guys, I wouldn't say creative, but one of the more funny names here that we have in the NBA 2K League. Mama I'm Dat Man. Scott, take it away.
That's right. I was just telling him, this is my favorite name of the day, Mama I'm Dat Man. You got to tell us, where'd you get that name, dude?
Growing up in the Bay, and Mark Jackson was the coach at that time, and he'd say, "Mama, there goes that man." So I took the name and ran with it.
Congratulations, you just got drafted. How do you feel?
I'm excited. They let me slip. They got me and Walnut together. It's gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell for the other teams.
A lot of excitement right here. Mama I'm Dat Man heading to Portland. Congratulations. Back over to you, Derek.
I know Scott could sit there and just say, Mama I'm Dat Man over and over and over again and never get bored. That's something that I love about it as well. Scott, you're killing out in the interviews. Keep it up, buddy. But now we move into pick 13 here in the second round. You can see, like I said, time's just flying by. I feel like we just started and we're already almost done here with the second round. So it's going to be Pistons GT. They're going to be on the clock. And as we brought up, they got Ramo at that power forward position. And that's huge. Going for that best overall player, you know that you're going to have a guy who, one, he's going to be able to defend. It's sort of the same situation with Wolf when he has that lockdown defender. Ramo's going to bring that same type of flair to the game. He's going to be able to guard that 1 versus 3. He's also going to be able to guard the big man. So he is entirely the complete package, and I think that's just going to be big for just building around him. He's definitely like that cornerstone piece, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see what they do here, if they would want to go even with a big. You think? I mean, the teams have been trying to snatch up these centers for a second here. I'm curious to see. You think they're going to go with the point guard route, but at this point right now, I'm curious to see if they would lean a little bit towards the center.
I think if you have Timely on the table right now and you're the Pistons and you want a great point guard, you go with Timely and you pair Timely and Ramo up together and try to create that 1-2 punch down in Detroit. I mean, I think that'd probably be the best option. I mean, if you're going through the centers and you're looking at a lot of them, a lot of the fresh talents taken. Worthing Colt's another guy that I'm going to bring up who could potentially fall into the second round. And you have quite a few other guys that are going to be there as well, but it's just going to become